The United States has alternated between confrontation and collaboration. Canada does not dump that these current and proposed duties are unjustified. And over 85% of Canada-U.S. trade continues to be tariff-free in both directions.
Canada is looking to boost trade with other North American trading partners, namely Mexico.
As Canada strikes a silent deal with Mexico, bypassing the United States in a jaw-dropping trade realignment worth over $120 billion. While Trump slapped a 35% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum, Prime Minister Mark Carney didn't flinch. Instead, he called it a sign to diversify forever. Within 72 hours, Canada redirected container ships to Antwerp, Yokohama, and Germany, cutting off U.S. industries from raw metal supplies they've depended on for decades. And guess who's stepping in to replace the U.S.-Mexico? The North American trade map has officially cracked. On July 31, 2025, President Donald Trump raised tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum from 25% to 35%, removing all previous exemptions. The official reason? National security and unfair Canadian subsidies. But in Ottawa, Prime Minister Mark Carney took it as something far more direct: economic betrayal. At a press conference, he said clearly. With that, Carney announced a full-scale export diversification plan. $6 billion in redirected contracts. Federal-backed loans for overseas buyers. Immediate logistical shifts to Asia and Europe. And a bold shift in infrastructure spending away from U.S.-focused corridors. This isn't the first time Canada has faced Trump's tariff hammer. Back in 2018, the U.S. imposed 25% steel and 10% aluminum tariffs, triggering a short-lived trade war that ended in 2019. But this time, it's bigger. Now, Trump has escalated tariffs to 35%, targeting not just metal but machinery, processed wood, and auto parts, affecting nearly $120 billion in annual Canadian exports. In response, Canada is not retaliating with more tariffs, it's doing something smarter. It's cutting the U.S. out of the supply chain entirely. Canada exports about 2 million tons of steel per year to the United States, valued at $11.6 billion in 2024. With Trump's tariff increase, prices jumped by $145 ton, forcing U.S. builders and manufacturers to panic. So Carney turned east. Canada signed a green steel export agreement with the European Union.
Steel exports, Ford moves entire production line to Canada.
2025, steel tariff measures from Washington and a surprisingly swift response from Ottawa seem to have triggered a fracture in the once steady cross-border supply chain. While factories in the U.S. are reportedly grappling with soaring input costs, north of the border, cranes and assembly lines appear to be running day and night. Ford, an iconic name in American industry, now seems to have chosen Canada as a strategic shelter, at a time when policy waves have yet to settle. With billions in investment, thousands of jobs, and a shifting position in the global supply chain, the industrial center of gravity may be quietly tilting. The question is this merely a temporary maneuver or a sign of a longer-term restructuring of the North American production map? And as the flow of vehicles and capital moves northward, what challenges might workers on both sides of the border be facing? Stay with us until the end of this video to explore the full story. Before we begin, please note, this video is created for the purpose of social and economic analysis, based on publicly available information and a range of academic perspectives. We do not draw firm conclusions, nor do we endorse or oppose any organization, policy, or individual. Our goal is to encourage thoughtful reflection and let you, the viewer, form your own perspective. June 4th, 2025 may be remembered as a turning point in US-Canada trade relations. On that day, President Donald Trump signed an order doubling steel import tariffs from Canada, from 25% to 50%. Many observers were taken aback by both the scale and potential ripple effects of such a move. Under Section 232 of the U.S. Trade Expansion Act of 1962, the government can impose tariffs if imports are deemed to pose a threat to national security, and this appears to have been the legal justification for the decision. The reasoning behind the tariff increase seemed aimed at shielding US steelmakers from what has been described as a surge of low-cost steel from countries with surplus capacity, while also strengthening it.
Big shout out, big respect to the Canadian Prime Minister. You are doing very well, sir. I personally am very proud of you. You just shown the world that you are a major and smart politician. When Trump was doing this, by the way, he came back in the office by idea of showing the world that everyone has to fear US. But Canada is showing the world that you can just solve the problem without making noise. That's what the Prime Minister is doing, and I hope everyone is very proud of what you're doing, sir. Yes. Imagine losing a factory like Ford in your country just because you want to show the world that, hey, I'm who I am. I want to make America great again. But just trying to show all the nations, the whole world, that they are under you. What do you think? Ford is shifting to Canada. Now, Canadian steel will be seeing Canadian steel going in the different countries of Europe, in Mexico. Because we've seen that Mexico has already signed a contract. They are going to be a major trade partner with Canada. Imagine. And they're still claiming that you are trying to make America great again. Ladies and gentlemen, let me not talk too much, but let's keep on watching this video, because what I do, I just bring you this so that you can see and at least have a talk. Please leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about what Trump is trying to do, and react on what Canada is doing to this Canada and the US market. Tell me, what do you think? Is Canada doing well? Personally, my comment is yes. Yes. Sorry. Canada is doing well, very well, according to me. What about you? I'm Genzi Africa. Subscribe to this channel and like this video. Leave a comment by showing what you think about this. Let's continue with this video.
U.S. will add an additional 25% tariff to 50% on steel and aluminum coming into the U.S. from Canada.
The American tariffs, the new tariffs on steel and aluminum, are unlawful, unjustified, and illogical.
We must reinforce our strength at home and safeguard Canadian workers and businesses.
What if I told you America's biggest industrial defeat in 2025 didn't come from China, but from the country right next door? It started quietly, a simple tariff hike on aluminum imports.
25% to 50% the tariffs on steel into the United States of America.
But in just months, it has spiraled into a full-scale economic realignment across North America, shuttering United States factories.
Closed many factories, we've lost manufacturing jobs.
We buy the aluminum, and they have to buy it from somewhere.
Collapsing energy demand in the Midwest, and handing Canada an industrial advantage it hasn't held in decades. While Washington has been locked in partisan gridlock, Ottawa has been executing a master plan, building new ports, locking in defense contracts with NATO and the Indo-Pacific, and signing long-term green energy supply deals with Europe and Asia. Canadian aluminum, now sold at a premium, is powering everything from Tesla's EVs to the fuselages of fighter jets. The United States thought tariffs would protect its industries. Instead, they may have gifted Canada the keys to the future. This isn't just a trade dispute, it's a race for dominance. And the question is, will America even show up to compete? Stay tuned, you don't want to miss what comes next. Just hours before the new tariff policy was set to take effect, Washington pulled a move that shocked even its closest allies. Import duties on steel and aluminum from Canada were abruptly doubled from 25% to 50% under Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act. The official line from the White House was that this was about protecting American industry.
President Trump continues to take bold action to protect America's critical steel and aluminum industries.
But anyone who has followed the numbers knows the truth. In 2023, nearly half of all United States aluminum imports came from Canada.
Canada produces 80% of all the primary aluminum in North America.
Cutting that supply wasn't just a jab, it was a direct punch to America's own industrial heart. The market reacted like a live wire. In a single day, United States aluminum prices jumped to $0.58 per pound, or $1,325 per ton in the Midwest market, a record high. For manufacturing giants like GM, Ford, and Boeing, it meant an instant, unavoidable choice: absorb crippling cost increases or start shutting down production lines. "We've never seen raw material prices swing this fast," said Mark Richardson, an Ohio aerospace supplier, speaking to CNBC. "And what's worse is there's no clear federal plan to deal with it." The shock didn't stay contained to factory floors. Analysts warned that the ripple effect would hit everything from job security to energy consumption.
Some people out there that are starting to worry. They don't know if they need to go find another job or not.
Higher costs meant slower production. Slower production meant less electricity consumed, and less electricity consumed meant declining revenues for utilities already struggling to maintain infrastructure. It was a chain reaction, and Washington had lit the fuse. At the Alcoa plant in Davenport, Iowa, shift supervisor Mike Jensen told local radio KQWC that production had slowed to a crawl. "We used to run 3 shifts nonstop," he said. "Now I'm sending people home early twice a week. You can see the stress on their faces. Mortgages don't wait for aluminum prices to stabilize." Meanwhile, in Ottawa, the mood was calm, almost surgical. The Canadian government wasted no time. 1.5 billion Canadian dollars was injected into upgrading the Alouette smelter, one of North America's largest aluminum facilities. A long-term, low-cost, clean electricity contract with Hydro-Quebec was locked in, ensuring stability in production costs for years to come. No fiery speeches, no public gloating, just precise, calculated action. For line engineer Sophie Gagnon, the announcement meant security. "I've been here 14 years and we've never had this kind of investment," she said. "It's not just about new machines, it's about knowing we'll still be here in 5 years." They're not reacting emotionally, noted Sarah Thompson, a trade policy analyst at Brookings. They see this as an opening to rewire their supply chain permanently. Jackin was working. Within weeks, Canada had secured long-term aluminum supply deals with the EU and Japan completely tariff-free. Exports to the UK, Singapore, and Italy surged. Several Asian smelters ripped up United States bauxite contracts and switched to Quebec instead, citing lower costs, cleaner energy, and a far more predictable political climate. Luc Boucher, who runs a 40-person extrusion plant outside Trois-Rivières, said the deals opened doors he never thought possible. "Last month, we shipped our first order to Osaka. 10 years ago, that would have been a dream." But Canada wasn't just thinking about the next quarter's profits. Ottawa was already setting up the next phase of its plan, one that would redraw the logistics map of North America and make sure Canadian aluminum never had to depend on United States infrastructure again. And when that plan became public, it would prove just how far ahead Canada was playing this game. But what Ottawa unveiled next wasn't just a trade workaround, it was a direct challenge to America's control over North American supply chains, and it caught Washington completely off guard.
And this is how a smart politician was supposed to do to protect and to secure his own nation and citizens. This Canadian Prime Minister is trying to close all the ways that can make them trade with America without harming any Canadian citizen. Not like Trump said that he's going to make America great again, but people are suffering there. His strategies his strategies were not positive to his citizens. This Canadian Prime Minister is trying to look for partners, business partners in other countries, and he's trying to ignore America smartly. He saw that just keep on talking about tariffs. It's not a smart way, but you see, he's trying just to deter all the markets that he had with America just to other countries. He keeps on he keeps on signing contracts with the other countries. Soon we are going to see a lot of cargoes from Europe to Canada, from Mexico to Canada, and maybe in coming years we'll see a lot of countries, I mean African countries, trading with Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, I think people who are close to Mr. Trump, you can advise him. This guy needs to be advised. He really needs to be advised because he's losing that American powerful, that American greatness, but I think that he's making it great again. If you are watching this and you are close to Trump, talk to him, because America is going down slowly. Yeah. America is going down slowly. Anyway, I'd like to give my respect to Mark, the Prime Minister of Canada, because what he's doing is amazing. And soon, maybe Trump will see that what he's doing is not fair to his people and to the world. Maybe he will collect himself. Yeah. So, it was good to be with you in this video. Please, I keep on reminding you to subscribe to this channel. Please, subscribe to this channel. And whenever watching my videos, please watch them to the end. Yeah. Share this video, like this video, and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think about this video. And let's meet in another episode. I'm Genzi Africa. Bye.